Hey everyone, welcome to the 10 and 2 podcast. I'm Kat.
Hey, I'm Catlin.
And we're here every week talking watches, photography, adventure, and exploring the world of horology. Hey.
How are you, Kat?
Good.
It's so awkward when we're not recording
I
together
know,
because
we can't see.
we're like waiting for that first person to talk, and then inevitably we'll just talk over each other.
Yeah, it always happens. We did really good the last time, though.
We did.
One day we'll record in person again.
What?
I said one day we'll record in person again.
One day. It's been a while since we've recorded in person, I feel like.
It has been. Soon enough.
Man.
Soon enough. Got our podcast room painted today.
Yay.
Looks really cool. Excited to
I can't wait.
Get it all set up.
I'm excited to come over tomorrow and check it all out.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It looks a lot different.
Mostly I'm excited for sushi lunch date, but it's my favorite part. But what is going on other than moving and painting?
Not much, actually. Just stressing out about all those type of things that goes along with buying a new house. And yeah, it's going good though. No major complaints. We had some plumbing problems, but when you buy a new house, you get a nice little warranty with it, and they come by and fix it within a few hours, and it's really nice.
It's my favorite part about having bought a new house.
It also helps. They're finishing two houses right next to us that are not finished yet. So the guys are like literally right over there, and they just send them on over. But so when we the day we moved in, our plumbing went out. Like all the toilets started overflowing, and apparently the construction workers flushed like towels down the toilet, cleaning towels. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea. And the weird thing is, like, the plumbers knew exactly what it was when they came in. They were like, I bet those guys threw towels down there. So
clearly this has been an issue. Has nobody just talked to the guys?
That's what I was like. I was like, do y'all just need to go talk to them and be like, hey, these do not go down the toilet. Like, it's not a trash can.
I also thought that was common sense.
I did too.
Apparently not.
And and then we had another issue last night. Came back again this morning, pumped it all out. Hopefully we're good to go at this point.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But how about you? I know it's only been a couple of days since we talked last, but
it really only has. I feel like life's basically been the same. Yeah. So all good.
Well, good.
Nothing really exciting to report. I am so for everybody who listened to our last episode, I am in the middle of doing some research into my first knife.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
We got a lot of good
suggestions.
Yeah.
Recommendations.
I was thinking, I think Kershaw, Benchmade, Spyderco. Those were sort of the top three. Looking at all of them, I just like the look of the Finch knives. I mean, I just think they're so different.
Just go ahead and spend a little more. Like, I wanted to keep it under $100. I think they make some that are like $80 or $90, but
they do.
I might be willing to go up to like $150.
Yeah.
We'll see. And some of you guys did not understand what SKX of watches meant because y'all sent
cheap. It's supposed to be cheap but good
recommendations. Right, cheap but good.
Yeah.
Man, it's all good then.
I can totally see like knives just you just go down another wormhole. It's I'm trying to keep myself away from looking at that. It's the same way I do with like my camera and lenses, which by the way, I got my new camera in today and I'm so freaking excited to use it. I couldn't use it because we had painters all in the house today. And I needed to get up in the office and I couldn't get up there, but really, really, really freaking excited. So
yeah, I do. I feel like I might wind up going down a knife rabbit hole because literally before we started recording, we were talking and I was like, well, I would need like a more utilitarian knife.
Yeah.
Like if I went going hiking and things like that. But then I want like a
guys don't come at me. And a form factor is a lot for us because we have little tiny pockets as females.
Oh yeah,
that's
in
the
our
other
jeans.
Thing
for sure.
And so I can proudly say that like the Finch and a lot of them are pretty small. I really like the Finch Runtley, I think is what it's called. It's it looks like a box cutter, and I love that little knife. And I'm probably end up getting one of those too at some point.
Remember like last year when we were addicted to buying bags? Not like nice designer bags, you
Yeah.
guys, for who didn't know us back then.
We bought
But
all the
like
bags, though.
camera bags and like organized and tote bags. And they like I have the entire Peak Design catalog
You
in my house
do.
right now.
You nearly have everything. Like, seriously.
Oh
Ugh.
man. And
I need some more Peak
now the
stuff,
new
actually.
obsession is gonna be knives.
Yeah. Hey, it's better than watches. It's better than spending thousands of dollars
Oh man.
or hundreds of
Speaking
dollars.
of spending, well, not thousands of dollars, but a few hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get one of the watches that we are reviewing today.
I'm pretty sure you are too.
Yeah. I mean, I already committed to it, but
Well, with that being said, we're reviewing the Astor Banks Fortitude, and we were lucky enough to check out the new sand dial right before, actually, no, like a month before its release. And Andrew over at Astor Banks was kind enough to send us. I think we actually got one of each dial color that he has available.
We had the entire collection.
Yeah. And just incredibly nice of him to do that. And we got to kind of stack them side by side and see which ones were our favorite. And this new sand dial is actually really, really, really good. And it's a color that I personally don't see a lot of. It kind of is a champagne-y color. There's like a shine to it, a shimmer.
Yeah. But it's like a masculine champagne dial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very kind of like rugged too. It's
yeah.
It's kind of rugged. If you're wanting like more of like the field watch vibe with the Fortitude, I think that's the dial color I would go with.
Yeah.
And then if you want more like a sports steel watch, on a bracelet, like a little dressier, then I'd go, maybe the turquoise or the mother of pearl, and so many options. And they got the blue dial too, which is wonderful. They're all just like home runs.
I completely agree. There's 5 different dial colors that you can choose from too. So literally there's like an option for anyone. So for those of you guys who may not be familiar with Astor Banks, so they're actually a Chicago-based independent brand. And this was the first time I think either of us have ever gotten hands-on with any of their watches at all. If I remember correctly. And so the Fortitude, I remember seeing Andrew, who owns Astor Banks. I remember seeing him post like this teaser about a ladies, or it was the first watch they've ever done that was marketed towards women. And it was just a teaser a few days before it was launched. And immediately I sent him a DM. I was like, look, what's going on? Like, I want to know what it is. I want, like send us some details. We'd love to cover it. And then he came back with the Fortitude. And we've talked about it on the podcast before. So with there being 5 different dial colors, one of them is a mother pearl dial, and he did market it originally as a ladies watch. What I love is that I see more men on Instagram wearing this dial than anybody else, and I absolutely love that. But it was originally launched in October of 2020. It was a follow-up to the brand's really popular Sea Ranger collection, and it was, like Kat said, it was designed to be that dressier field watch in any collection.
All right, so with the specs here, you're looking at a 38.5 millimeter case, a 46 lug-to-lug, which is pretty awesome, and it's only 11.9 millimeters thick. And again, this watch wears really, really well. I think it's like 38.5 is just about the perfect size for so many people. And I know there's going to be folks that obviously argue that it's too small.
But it's a field watch, and most field watches are about that 36 to 40 millimeter size. So this falls right in the middle.
Definitely. And then you also had the benefit, it's, is it 200 meter water resistant?
Yes,
How did I not notice that? Oh shit. So the watch is also 200 meter water resistance, I was actually just shocked about because I did not realize this when I had this watch. The whole time I was thinking it was 100 meters. Clearly I did not read the dial too hard. But that, again, that's just like to have a watch that's 200 meter. Obviously it's kind of overkill for not being a dive watch, but I love that. I love the fact that they just kind of went above and beyond and screw down crown, obviously. Yeah, I mean, there's no way water's getting in this thing. You can wear it everywhere. The stainless steel bracelet tapers from a 20 millimeter to a 16 millimeter at the clasp, which
we all know makes Kat happy.
It makes me very happy. I love a taper. I love it so much. Sapphire crystal with the AR coating on the underside of it.
And so like we mentioned, there's 5 dial colors that you can choose from. There's a silver dial, a navy blue, a mint green, which I'm obsessed with, a mother pearl, and the sand, which is the newest one that just released a couple of weeks ago. Matching date wheel. So shout out to Astor Banks for doing something that, $8,000 watches still can't manage to do. So you have really tall hour markers and with a really thick outline. So you have an amazing contrast against the dial. No matter what color it is, all of them provided a really great contrast. The color of the hands is going to depend on which dial option you do. But again, like I said, it's all done to give you the best contrast humanly possible. And then you have Super Luminova on all your markers in your hands.
And then inside is the Myota 9015 movement, which is a 3-hand with date, 42-hour power reserve. And there's also an added iron.
Iron.
Iron. That's how we talk down here because we don't know how to talk. All right. After dark, once again. It's not even that dark. I don't even... Fuck, I knocked my mic over. It's okay.
Kat, I need you to get your shit together, lady.
I know. I'm so mad. I've been so bad lately. And so inside is also some iron plates that make the watch more anti-magnetic. And it also, it exceeds the requirements. You do not have to worry about this watch, whether you work at a computer or whatever. You should be pretty good as it goes a little bit more above and beyond than what the normal watches have, and probably certainly more than, your Fitbit or whatever your, Apple Watch or whatever else you're wearing on the wrist.
Most definitely. And then so they are priced between $650 and $695. Depends on the dial. The mother pearl dial is basically the more expensive dial, which is understandable. Also with that, it includes an extra suede strap and you get a watch wallet. And then Astor Banks provides a 5-year warranty.
5 years is actually pretty nice for a micro brand.
It really is.
Loving that watch wallet too. Another thing that I really like a lot of these micro brands are doing, and some of even the bigger brands are doing as well. I know Oris does this, and on a few of their models, they give you a watch pouch or a travel pouch. I freaking love that. I love getting something that's useful to me rather than a box that's just going to sit in my closet. And I know we've talked about this over and over again. Now, that being said, there are a couple boxes that we actually do like. The little extra ones. Even though I'm not going to use it, it's still pretty.
Yeah, I need that 8-pound Moonwatch box. Like that's stupid huge. All right. Well, so that is all the facts in the podcast. So if you haven't listened to one of our review episodes before, basically as watch collectors, we ask some questions before we decide to buy a watch. And that's what we really challenge ourselves with every review. So we just kind of are going to chat about a few of those things that we would think about and ask ourselves if we were going to consider purchasing this watch. So,
absolutely.
Kat, what is your favorite feature on the Fortitude? On any dial color? We're not going to specify a dial color, I don't think, because the whole
maybe at the end
awesome.
We'll ask ourselves which is our favorite.
Yeah.
If I hadn't already said, I probably already said in the beginning. I don't know.
I think we both did. It's fine. We'll just reiterate it. It's okay.
Well, yeah. So my favorite thing about the watch is probably just the case. It's hard. It was actually harder for me to pick a favorite thing because I had so many. And so case shape, the bracelet, I love that. It's just like the bracelet feels at one with the case. It almost gives you this integrated feel, and it's not integrated. You can take it off. You can put a strap on. Obviously it comes with an extra strap, but it gives me that integrated bracelet feel. I love the design of their bracelets. The finishing on the case is fantastic. For a watch at this price point, I was definitely blown away. Yeah, I love the whole package. I just like dial aside, hands aside, all that stuff put aside. I just love the case and the bracelet all together. Like that, the case size, everything, the whole package just is my favorite thing about the watch.
So all of it. Basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Almost all of it.
Thanks.
Just everything.
Thanks for narrowing
my favorite thing is everything.
It's like anytime I take Tyler anywhere and I'm like, oh, what was your favorite thing about like the zoo or a movie? He's just like all of it. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Liar.
Thanks. You're so helpful, Kat.
Well, what about you? What was your favorite thing?
I mean, really ditto what you said, but I'll for the game and the podcast, I will be a little bit more specific and do something a little different. Honestly, I really enjoy, first of all, the design of everything about this watch. It really is phenomenal. Just like Kat said, everything works incredibly well together and nothing looks out of place. And honestly, I was very surprised by the finishing. Finishing is something that with micro brands, you're always kind of like a little skeptical about, you know what I mean? And you don't have
Mhm.
high expectations. It's like Seiko bezels. You don't have the highest of expectations, but the finishing was absolutely phenomenal, especially at this sort of price point. But I really love the markers in the hands, specifically in the detail that was put forth in making sure that they matched the dial to contrast them exactly. Like within five different dial colors, there's three different colors of hands and markers. And I think that made such a big difference because you can tell that Andrew and, if he has anybody else who helps design them, you can tell that they really put a lot of thought into, okay, well, the gray hands and the gray markers are going to match these dials, but it wouldn't look as good on this dial. Same with
Mhm.
the blue steel or hands.
Yeah.
Obviously they're not going to look good on several different options. And I like that instead of copying and pasting just a generic formula across 5 different dials, he
Mhm.
really took the time to make each one specific and unique to get the best overall package.
Yeah, I think for a watch at this price point, I've not seen that kind of level of detail in
Yeah.
anything that I've come across, and I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying that I have not personally. I just think it's a really phenomenal bang for buck type watch for the level of finishing that you get with it.
I agree. Totally agree.
All right,
Um,
onto the bad.
onto the bad because we require ourselves to pick out something we don't
Yeah,
necessarily love about a watch. So
yeah.
Kat, what was your least favorite feature? And we say least favorite because it may not be something that we hate, but it could just
Hmm.
be like out of the whole I love you list, this is the thing I love least about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So as I said that I love, the case and the shape and how the bracelet fits, how it fits on the wrist. There is one thing that annoyed me slightly, and it doesn't have anything to do with the comfort of the watch,
Mhm.
but it's how it sits on I'm just going to say my wrist, okay? Because it may not be like this for everybody. But there was a slight gap on either side of the lugs
Mhm.
because the case back protrudes a little bit, which you do see in some watches that do that because, and then, when you put it on your wrist, it kind of disappears a little bit. I know like my Omega Seamaster does that. But the way that the bracelet is, it gave me a little gap. I could kind of stick my pinky through each side. And again, the comfort was great. It wore really well. It just aesthetically bothered me when I
Mhm.
would look at it and I would see that gap when I was looking at the watch from the side. Just a very, very small annoyance for me. I wish that kind of the bracelet would come down a little further, or maybe the lugs would hug the wrist a little bit more. But yeah, I guess that would be my least favorite thing about it.
Yeah,
What
honestly,
about you?
that's mine too.
Oh, okay.
And
So I wasn't
yeah,
the only one.
no, you weren't. And again, it's not something that really bothers me. Now, when we first started talking about this watch, we got some messages or some comments about asking how it sits on the wrist because it's quote unquote thicker and it's not. I now understand what those people mean because at first I was like, what do you mean it's thicker? It's not really that thick, but I do understand. It's not that it's thicker. It does just it almost feels like it is, but it's
Mhm.
still practical to wear. But because and I think it first the case back is thicker because of the fact that you have the iron plates, right? So
Yeah.
like I mean there's a practicality and I like that. I like that they did that instead of making the whole case thicker, which would
Mhm.
have just looked absolutely ridiculous. They just put a bigger
Yeah.
case back on it. So I do understand the practicality of it. It did not bother me personally. Also,
Mhm.
I wear Planet Ocean a lot. So, thick with like 3 C's at the end doesn't really
Mhm.
bother me all that much.
Yeah.
But I could see the annoyance, and I don't think it was an annoyance in the way that it set. It was just an annoyance in the way that where the bracelet integrated, just like what you said, you can visibly see that little gap.
Mhm.
And On a larger wrist, it probably isn't even noticeable.
Yeah,
But we
exactly.
we both have, between 6.5, 6.25, 6.5 inch wrists, somewhere right around there. So it is very noticeable for the two of us. That being said,
Yeah,
it's not a deal breaker for me,
yeah.
but that would be definitely the least favorite thing.
Well, let's move on to versatility of the watch, and do you feel like it suits its purpose?
Yeah. I mean, so basically, yeah. I I always find I think in all honesty, field watches have to be some of the possibly the most versatile watch design out there.
Hmm.
I think it's really the perfect go anywhere, do anything watch. And to me, this was that. It First of all, aesthetically just absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing. And it looks amazing even so I was quite obsessed with the mint dial, which is probably the more bold color out of all the dials. Like it's easy to wear, the sand dial is a very easy dial to wear every day. The mother of pearl, same thing, and things like that. But the mint was definitely a little tricky to
Hmm.
just kind of wear every day, and I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I thought it kind of suited everything that I wore while I was wearing it. Versatility as far as like strap pairings, which is always very important to me. I think a little bit more so than you lately. You seem to be on a bracelet kick lately. Um,
I'm always on a bracelet kick.
you're on a bracelet kick, but you want it to go with all the straps that
I
just sit
know,
around collecting dust.
pretty much.
It works really well with straps. It's I think the case design works very, very well that way, and just the overall aesthetic of it. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes above and beyond suiting its purpose, right? It's a field watch with 200-meter water resistance and a screw down crown, and that's something that everybody wants. Everybody wants more water resistance. I don't know what you guys do. I've ranted about this before that you guys want like all this water resistance and whatever, but it gives you that. So like this is what literally you could take from the beach to the boardroom. And to me, that's what I look for in a field watch or a go anywhere, do anything watch. What
Yeah.
about you? How do you feel about its versatility?
Yeah, I think it's, absolutely versatile. I think that it's a field watch, it's a sports watch, it's a tool watch, it's a explorer watch. It is kind of strange for me to directly looking at it to call it a field watch just because of what I'm used to field watches looking like.
Mhm.
I wish there was a category that was like explorer watch because that's what I would, kind of personally call this type of piece. But I think it looks incredible. I think it looks incredibly stylish, and it's at such a great price point too that I think it is a great option for to give someone as a gift. I think it's great for if you're buying your brother, a sister, a wife, a husband, a watch. You're not gonna break the bank with this kind of watch, and you're pretty much going to make anyone happy. The amount of dial options that they have, I think, allows someone to really customize, or not really customize, but to really get a color that goes and suits them and their personality, which I really enjoy. I think a lot of times I see in the watch community, people get onto brands about offering way too many dial colors and options. And I never really see that as a bad thing. It's a good thing that there's options because there's always going to be someone that is going to find something that they like. There's so many
I
watches
agree.
that I picked up over time where of course, like, not everyone wants a black dial, a blue dial, right? Like, there's people that want something different, and with the Fortitude, the colors are not really like your standard colors. They've got this new sand, they've got this mint dial, they've got a mother of pearl, and then they've kinda got, a very, like, subdued blue, which I think is more safe, and then they got the, kind of the silvery white color, and those what I would consider as a safe option. But I like that they picked like really bold colors that, you know, I know so many people that love these bold watches on the wrist. And for me personally, I'll just go ahead and say like my favorite is the mother of pearl. I just really, really I was attracted to that watch when I had it. I mean, I could not stop staring at the dial. And I know it's just kind of like, oh, she's a girl. She likes mother of pearl. Like it, yeah, I do. I like pretty things. Okay. Like, I know.
Again, to be fair, I've seen more men wearing this mother of pearl dial than women on
And
Instagram. So
I think it's so cool that like guys like it too. And
yeah.
why can't they wear it? You know, an amazing dial, and it just changes into light. It's incredibly beautiful. But you know, the watch definitely suits its purpose. I'm kind of getting back on track here. Um, and I don't really know the category I would put it in. It really suits every category, especially it being 200 freaking meters water resistance. How awesome is that? Catlin, I don't know what we're doing in the water, okay? But
It's not even
you're not even
you live in a landlocked state, Kat. With like
I have to go swimming in my tub, basically. It's the only pool I'll ever get.
There's no chance of you just like randomly popping up into water. Like we had to drive to get to the lake and everything else around here. You don't have a pool, which I'm very distraught that your neighborhood doesn't have a pool because I was hoping for summer.
I know
podcast
you were really upset about that, and especially when I told you the other house we were looking at had a pool.
It did have a pool.
You were like, "What?
What?" Also,
we should have consulted you.
I don't know why my advice was not taken into consideration. My comfort as like the non-rent paying, person who lives there once a week. Ridiculous.
You basically live here. Oh man, I forgot where I was at, but water resistance, water resistance, lots of water resistance. I love it. I love screw down crown. And I like this watch can just basically do anything. The lume is actually really good on it too. I didn't talk about that, but as a luminat, I will say I do like I like lots of lume, and this watch did not disappoint either. And like I said, I think just the color options allow people to, find one that fits them personally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. You get to find something that suits your personality. And I agree. I get so annoyed when people want to attack brands for doing the same watch in different colors. And like,
no,
there's nothing wrong with more choices. I just, why should I have to settle on something? I don't settle on the color of anything else in my life. Why would I settle on the color of a watch?
Yeah.
But whatever.
It makes me feel like a kid too. I like I like lots of options. As a kid, you really wanted something that was like just your right color and it was your favorite color, and I like doing that.
All right, so
seems so silly.
$650. The mother of pearl being $695. How do you feel about its value, considering its cost?
I mean, I think it's right on the money personally. I think that what they're asking for is honestly too little for the quality of watch you get. So I'd say if you can pick one of these up while they're at this price point, I would, because I don't know that they're always going to be at this level. I see a lot of micro brands kind of moving up and up and up. And there's a good reason, because they're getting better. They're getting better movements, or, their finishing is getting better. So yeah, I mean, like you, I'm very tempted to grab one of these right now because I can still grab one at $650 or $695. And yeah, like I said, I really didn't pull up any other watches to compare it to, because I think, okay, maybe I've had a couple Seikos at the 600, 500 price range. I haven't had any other really like micro brands. I've had some like Young Hands models that are around $700, and this watch was like way better finished than any of those, and that includes Seiko, way beyond the level of finishing that you're going to get in a Seiko at this price point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was going to say the same thing, that if anything, I feel like this watch is underpriced, but I understand the challenge with micro brands, right? Like you can't, at the end of the day, people want to feel justified in spending more money on something, and it's harder for a micro brand to earn that sort of like clout and that respect that they're worth more money, because the argument is always going to be, oh, these brands have no history, blah, 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 which I'm fine with. I'm fine with somebody coming. Look at the brands who have history. They've been doing the same damn watches for, 50 years. Yeah, they've got, 100 years of experience, but what has that gotten them? What have they done different? Versus you get the micro brands who are run by watch enthusiasts who are, excited and passionate, and you get some really unique designs, and you get some amazing little details. In this watch, to me, it was the finishing. Every little detail of this watch was perfection. Matching date wheels. There's a mint dial on this watch that I'm obsessed with, and it had a matching mint date wheel. Okay.
Yeah.
Like any other watch brand would have had a white date wheel, and that would have completely ruined this watch. And even just the finishing of the case and the bracelet, that was quite impressive to me. Like I said, I'm always very, very skeptical about case finishing. I don't have high expectations as in this sort of price point. And Astor Makes kind of killed it at this price point,
Yeah.
honestly. And I agree, while they're at this price, people need to hop on to brands like this, because the reality is these brands can't sustain like long term at this price point.
Hmm.
I genuinely don't believe that. I don't think that they produce enough or sell enough yet to be able to, make a long-term business plan out of sub $1,000 watches, when their watches could easily be worth $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. I had no problems with the watch. The winding, the movement operated very fine, and we literally had 5 of these watches in, guys. And
Yeah.
we wore every single one of them. Everything operated perfectly. It was, there was no issues with the movement. No, the winding was what I would expect. Obviously, like the crown action isn't as good as some different movements, but again, I
Hmm.
at this price point, I totally expect this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, kind of last question here, just kind of talking about our long term. Like, if you had this watch, would it last long term, and would you wear it on the regular?
Yes. I'm literally like,
Yes, yes,
I've
and yes.
already. So the mint dial is sold out. The mint I'm in love with, in case you guys didn't figure out.
Is the
Um,
mother of pearls heart out?
no,
I'm
it's
gonna check
not
right
sold out
now.
yet.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
I Cat's trying to watch tonight.
No, I
So
shouldn't.
no, you definitely should, because I know what else is going on. So no, Cat, be good. But so like, and when we were doing notes for this podcast, I guess I just kind of assumed that, it would be available. And when I
Yeah.
was on the website and I saw it was gone, I instantly DM'd Andrew, and I was like, please tell me you're making more of these. And so he is. So I already committed, once another batch of them, I want the mint dial. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think regular wear, yeah, to me, this watch is designed. This is a budget Aquaterra. I mean, that's the closest thing that I have in
Yeah,
my
that's a
collection
good
to this. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good comparison.
Yeah, and I mean, so an Omega Aquaterra is going to start at, mid $5,000 price point. Well, for, you know, less than $700, you can get something that has that sort of go anywhere, do anything vibe. You have really an increased water resistance. The movements are
Mhm.
different. Yeah, okay, but I think for somebody who's getting into watches, this is such a great everyday, don't have to worry about it sort of watch that still looks nice enough to be able to wear. If you're going back to work here soon with lockdown restrictions, it looks great in a suit. It looks great with anything. So I,
Yeah.
I think it's a phenomenal piece. Also, Tyler loved it too. So I feel like it's going to be a watch that we share. Um,
Oh, I could see him wearing it actually. Yeah, maybe
the
I'll share
mint,
it.
yeah, he wore the mint a few times. So we'll see. I mean, that one I might have a hard time like sharing, but sharing is caring, right?
Sharing is caring.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
No.
That's what they say.
Oh yeah? Yeah? You gonna share one with Jonathan?
I don't know about that.
Exactly. We couldn't even share one together.
No, I
So,
know.
all right. All right. So, Kat, what about you? Regular wear, long term in your collection. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I would wear this all the time. It's just my kind of watch. I think I would have it for a long time, honestly. It's such a non-offensive watch to everybody, and that's why I say, like, this is if you wanna gift a watch to someone and you're wanting to spend under $1,000, like, I don't
Yeah.
know anyone that just, like, doesn't like the look of this watch. It's just it's not, like, blow me away crazy good or anything like that. It's just that he picked, like, everything perfectly. The
Mm-hmm.
case design, the bracelet, the dial, everything just comes together, and there's nothing I can't look at it and just pick out anything I don't like. It just all looks good. I wouldn't change anything about it, and, I think that, I get a lot of DMs asking, "What should I buy this person in my life? What should I buy my girlfriend?" Whatever, and this is just such a good option, and, like, if you went with, like, the silver dial or if you went with maybe the sand or the blue, like, it's a home run. It's a home
Yeah.
run
I
gift,
agree.
and I'm not or hey, gift yourself a watch. Treat yourself.
Treat
How about that?
yourself.
Treat yourself.
Also,
Um,
why Kat and I get in trouble all the time.
I know. Pretty much.
YOLO.
We treat ourselves a little too much.
I love me, okay? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're allowed to
My
love
wallet
ourselves.
does not love me. It's fine.
No, again, I'm just in love with this watch. I'm so glad that we got to finally go hands-on with Astor Banks, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future because having been hands-on, having checked these watches out, I can say that I'm a total fan. I love what Andrew's doing over there. I have much respect for him, and yeah, I can't wait to see what else he does.
Yeah, same. And Andrew, I'm sure you're going to listen to this. Thank you very much for sending us all these
Yeah.
watches. We had them for like probably 2 months.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was a hot
It was a
minute.
while.
But thank you. Like, it is always nice because, we do try and spend as much time with watches as we can for these reviews because we want to be as honest and as like, genuine as possible with the review. But in most cases, we get, 2 weeks basically is pretty standard.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I'll be honest, I didn't wear the blue and I didn't wear the white silver dial because I could not take off the mother of pearl.
Yeah.
Like that was the one I just wanted to wear all the time.
Same.
Yeah.
The mint did not come off my wrist.
We just picked our favorites.
Yeah. But like at that point, we understood how the watch was. The other dials are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's so fun too. And I remember. So I've been thinking about this Tiffany dial, Rolex, right? Like everybody else was. And then I remember it was Mike from Manta has the Tiffany OP, correct? And he got one of the mint dial Fortitudes. And I remember seeing a picture of them side by side. And y'all, honestly, this mint dial is everything. So like, the dial.
It holds up. It holds up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, much better than the Tiffany dial, in my opinion.
Much better.
Of course, much better.
Oof.
In my opinion.
Fighting words.
Are they? Come at me, y'all. Like, please also understand all of this is opinion, guys. So
exactly.
Enjoy it. But yeah, I think with that, that's probably pretty much everything. Do you have any other final thoughts or words?
No.
All right.
I think that's about it.
Awesome. Guys, so we will have photos of the watches and whatnot on our website, www.tennand2.com. Be sure to follow us along on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at 10and2 Media. And that's it, guys. We'll be talking to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.